Hey everyone, Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the week of January 11th, 2020. Very big week in astrology. I think that perhaps myself and some other astrologers as well, perhaps we underestimated the astrology of last week. But the truth of the matter is, I think now that Mars is in Taurus along with Uranus, and even though they're not quite together yet, they are going to meet in the sky, so they are applying to each other. And this is going to be big shakeups and unpredictability, and possibly even violence, I hate to say. So there are a lot of unpredictable energies going on, especially for January and February. It does look like it will get a little bit better after that, but there will be social unrest probably pretty much all year. I honestly did not expect what happened in the nation, in the United States, until like the 20th or around the 20th of January. So it will be interesting to see how that energy manifests on that day. But for this week, we have a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon because if you remember, we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January last year. It was right around exactly the same time. And this is what, like, we didn't know it at the time. I mean, astrologers predicted that there was going to be a major restructuring, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So think back to January of last year when you had really no idea that a wrecking ball was coming through your life. And, you know, you were kind of like, we were kind of like sitting ducks, really. You know, even though astrologers knew that something big was coming, we just couldn't really put our finger on it. We really knew that what I kept thinking was, you know, Donald Trump was going to go down, or, you know, like the structure, the political structure was going to go down. And that was true to some extent, but it was a lot more than that. So anyway, this new moon is going to reactivate whatever you were kind of blindsided with in January. So whatever you started in January, or whatever, you know, whatever that meant for you, that restructuring of your life, whatever completely changed, this is kind of bringing that wound back up. However, we're starting a new cycle on it, and we are hopefully going to manifest a new energy and rebuilding energy on that same degree. So the fact that this new moon is at the same degree just shows that, you know, the universe knows what it's doing. And you're going to be you're not going to be a sitting duck anymore. You're going to be aware of how you have to change, how you have to empower yourself, because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, which is very intense. So intense emotions, you know, stepping into the higher manifestation of this is stepping into your power more fully, reconstructing your life. But this time you're doing it with knowledge. You are not, you know, just kind of sitting there and then boom, something happens and changes your life. It's more like you're empowered now. And Pluto is really about evolution. So what did you learn in the past year? How are you going to apply what you learned in the past year? The biggest thing too with Pluto, I think, is intentions. If you have good intentions, I believe that, you know, you'll get the higher manifestation, hopefully. But if you have manipulative, or if you have, you know, harmful intentions, then, you know, you might manifest the lower side, you know, of Pluto. And, you know, that can lead to all kinds of, you know, not pleasant things like, fighting and violence and things like that. So we want to keep it at the highest vibration possible. You're going to take what you learned and you're going to have a priority shift. You're shifting your priorities now. And the structures that you have built have been torn. How are you going to rebuild them? That's the question that this new moon is asking you. And you should set your intentions as well. And Pluto is very deep. It's very emotional and very deep. So it's important to sit with that energy. And, where was your power taken away? How are you going to take back that power? So we have this, and then we have Mars, in Taurus along with Uranus, and that is shakeups in foundations, money, shakeups, shakeups in resources, because Taurus is all about resources. So there's going to be those, there's going to be that instability or that unpredictability. And as if this new moon wasn't enough, conjunct Pluto, we're also going to have Uranus go direct like a day later. So Uranus going direct is going to be all about freedom and independence from a situation that it's going to be empowering. It's going to free you, and it's going to free you from some wounds as well. So we have a big week in astrology this week. Let's see where this falls in your sign. Hello, Capricorn. So we have, on Tuesday, we have Mercury square Uranus. Okay, so this could be some triggers with words. Social media comes to mind with this. Perhaps people speaking out on social media, erratic behaviors, a push for truth, arguments, shakeups in communications. And for you, this is happening in a part of the chart that has to do with significant others, romantic partnerships, how you earn money in creative projects. So somebody gets very vocal with creative projects, or rubs you the wrong way. You might want to kind of temper your reaction a little bit. Or, this could play out too, where you are really thinking hard on how to innovate something, how to make more money for yourself, or maybe you're acting, maybe you're doing something in a way, communicating in a way to bring yourself more wealth too. Perhaps like you're applying for jobs or something like that, but there's a motivation here. So we also have the new moon conjunct Pluto in your first house. So for you, Pluto in your first house has just been big, okay? And now this new moon is going to activate what was going on in January 2020, when you really didn't know what was going to get restructured. And like I said, we were kind of all sitting ducks. We didn't know. And for you, it had to do with the body, or how people saw you, reputation maybe, or how you appear to people. But I know for a lot of Capricorns, it had to do with the body. And at that point, when the wrecking ball comes through, we don't really have control, right? We have no control. We don't know what's going on. And we're kind of like, we're kind of leveled at that point. But now we have this new beginning where we're going to empower ourselves. We're going to look at the wounds from 2020 and we're going to say, okay, what did I learn from this? And now we're going to use what you learned to transform that into something new and build something new. So for you, this might be your body and your health. You might have you might have had a health problem, and that was a concern for the year, but you learned a lot from it, and now you're going to approach this, your body in a different way. There's something here that is evolving for you, and we have to rebuild it. We have to put some intensity in it and try to keep like the highest manifestation of it. So how am I going to take the truth of 2020 and empower myself with it? How am I going to evolve myself? How am I going to step into my power with my body or how others see me? So this is like, there's no going back, right? You can't go back. You can only go forward. So how are you evolving this part of your life? Who are you now? You can't be that person that you were before. You got to be somebody new now. And if that wasn't enough, we also have Uranus going direct. So think back to August, what was happening in August. And Uranus isn't a part of the chart that has to do with romantic relationships, creativity, children, and any children that you have or want to have. And also fun too. This is the area of fun. But Uranus has been retrograde since August. So now he's going to move forward. And when Uranus moves forward, he sort of shakes us free. So we become more independent. So where is that independence going to be for you? How are you going to free yourself and have more self-love and be more independent or more, I guess it's more like, it's not that you're running from responsibility, but it's almost like, it's like you're not constrained anymore. So how is that going to play out for you? And this is going to trine Venus. So this could have to do with, maybe, I don't know, maybe you could have a makeover or something like that. And you feel like a new person. Venus in the first house and Capricorn. I mean, Capricorn's not really all about, beauty and things like that. But, maybe you get yourself a new outfit. Or maybe you decide that you're going to have new goals for yourself. That's probably a little more Capricornian. But, you're going to have more fun. So, think about how you can manifest these things in your life. All right, so this is the major astrology that's going on for the week. But I do think it'll be a really good, empowering week for you.